Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's carry on where we left off. Our good friend and partner, Kazuma Asogi, was found dead in his cabin while we were caught snoozing in a closet. Susato thinks we're guilty. Herlock Sholmes thinks we're some kind of an assassin / mercenary. It's up to us to clear her name once again, so let's resume our investigation. How could you do it? Oh, for pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Do I look Eastern European to you? Do I have a fur hat on? Oh, forgive me. And as for you, sir, you couldn't be any more wrong if you tried. What kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. You have quite the imagination there. But was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe, I guess. I mean, I'm wearing handcuffs, literally. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England. And I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder, as I just said. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. And even I could do that. I'm supposed to be good at it. Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Yeah, well, more often than not does not equate to 100% a success rate, you know. I don't think you introduced yourself. At least, not while I was awake. My apologies. How remiss of me. Goggles off. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes.
So, it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes.
The very same. The inimitable, actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san?
The most famous detective in the world. Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
Well, apparently. I'm a nobody. What planet have I been living on, then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I feel like he's fingered me as the culprit, and I know I definitely didn't do it. So, I think he's wrong. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Okay, let's converse with the great Herlock Sholmes, great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? I am good at observing, I guess not listening. Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. So your name is still the same. You're German? Herlock, was it? Oh, God. No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. Well, at least, we don't know Russian, but we do know German. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Rance magazine. Full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Wait, are you actually Herlock Sholmes? Or did you just change your name based off of fictional Herlock Sholmes? And you just copied your adventures from the magazine? So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Well, I'm not the menacing assassin you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer? Do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? The very same one that died? Or is the game going to pull a switcheroo and he's actually still alive? That was just a different Dr. Wilson. Just showing the same name by coincidence. I wouldn't put it past Ace Attorney to do that. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Well, I mean, he strikes some pretty awesome poses. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning at its purest form.
A science?
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in the subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. Oh, well, certainly it was not the exhibit you put on when you were accusing me of all these random... I wouldn't call them accolades. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction. And fail. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. But of course, Kazuma's death. What do you know about it? Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Right, well, I again remind you, I was not hiding in the closet. That would be the most dumbest place to hide for a killer. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. I mean, I can imagine if someone's like pounding on the door, like they're about to come in, and you're like, oh shit, I can't be seen at the scene of the crime. I need to hide in the closet. As a last-ditch effort, it's better than nothing. But, you know, that's not exactly what happened, was it?
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Really? Well, you're quite a tall fellow. I'm surprised you managed to conceal yourself, as you say. Especially with that outfit. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Sherlock Holmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks, I guess. Ugh. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Well, hit me with the two facts. Oh, and we got another dialogue option. Goodness. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please! What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. Yeah, you told me that. I mean, I know I asked you to repeat your name, but I can hear things. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Not discombobulate, I hope. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. That's what I figured observation 1 would be. Observation 2 would probably be the dying message. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. I don't believe the victim was Russian, unless Kazuma knows something I don't. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Did you just extrapolate that from the Russian writing on the floor? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Yes, I have already looked at it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read that. That's the Russian word for wardrobe. Really? Interesting. So, well, first, now I've gathered two facts. One, Sherlock Holmes understands Russian, or maybe he's asked someone what it meant. And two, the killer probably knew I was in the wardrobe and they wanted to finger me as the culprit? Because there's no way Kazuma wrote this message down.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
I don't. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. So, he's a native Russian this entire time. He was blending in, and I've been played for a fool. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps. Right. But in the interests of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least, despite the fact it said keep out on it.
Well, you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping peacefully.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? Why is everyone Russian? Susato, are you Russian? Sherlock Holmes? Sorry. Are you German? Gosh. I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. Okay, that is flawed logic, first off. For the simple fact you found me literally in his wardrobe. For all you know, I came aboard this ship naked. Scoured the cabins trying to find something to wear. I ended up in this cabin and wore his uniform. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. It is?
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people. I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. Yet here we are. I've deduced you're a ninny, Sholmes. I took a photograph of the victim in the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Oh dear. Well, this is our first time seeing Kazuma in this state, right? Because by the time we woke up, there was just tape there. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes. Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Oh man, that must hurt so bad. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I just saw a picture of my dead friend, and I'm being accused of murder. I'm in handcuffs already. A detective is wildly accusing me of all these different crimes, which I am 100% positive I'm not responsible for. Do I look alright? Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, I can see Ryunosuke is going to go the polite route. I would have blown up at this point. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. It would appear to have been written in the victim's final moments. It would appear that way, anyway. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. All that bullshit. Oh yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Well, your train of reasoning has gone off the rails tenfold. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Damn it. Sholmes, you got me. I don't know how to pronounce Russian. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Okay, your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? That thing. You know? I can't say I wish I could take credit for them. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Oh, really? Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This is supposed to be him? You think this guy is me? Are you serious right now? This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. What? Oh, sorry. The young Russian being, Kazuma, I guess? Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. And you believe him because he's Sherlock Sholmes? You think Kazuma was Russian? Do you, Susato? It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Violent Bolshevik! No, how could it be me? Sorry, I was just listening to this tune for a minute. It's really a nice, soothing score, isn't it? It was playing when Sherlock Sholmes was investigating the crime scene in that cutscene.
I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his freaking face. Do I have that nose? Do I have that beard? I can't even grow a mustache.
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. You're joking. Ugh, please! And, I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Again, I could have climbed aboard this ship naked. But, let's not fixate on the naked part. I'm just saying that I'm a stowaway, obviously. Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower.
Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
Well, I mean, if he's a revolutionary, he probably wanted to recruit more people to his cause, right? So he went and accessed the media. That's not too far-fetched in my eyes. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? That came out of the left field. Also, quite clearly stated here in the article. What? That I came from Afghanistan? Bolshevik was recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? I'm not a man of the world. All I know is German, apparently. This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, great. Yeah, sure. This is definitely going to be a souvenir I'm going to put in my office when I eventually become a lawyer. Oh, thank you, I guess. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. It's okay, I could probably use it when I go to the bathroom next. The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record, an article on the front page of a Russian newspaper. The headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. A lot of villains going to Shanghai, it seems. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Oh. Can we examine it? Ooh, what do we have here? This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
Yes, I enjoy articles that I can't read. I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Yeah, you pointed it out to me. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. I was about to ask, would he only appear if I examine this right in front of him, but looks like this dialogue says he pops up everywhere, so probably, if we're eventually allowed to move about the ship, this is an excuse for him to just appear and translate, I guess, whatever's in this article. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Pavlova, of course. There's still the running debate as to who invented the Pavlova, which is a dessert between Australia and New Zealand. It was named after Anna Pavlova when she came to visit. I won't get into that debate here. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? I can remember Pavlova at the very least. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. Ooh. Ryunosuke. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
I wonder. Is this going to be relevant to this case, or is it going to be relevant to maybe the overall arc of the game, I wonder? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. They're rushing out of the country. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. The article about the ballerina has been entered into the court record, an article on the back page of a Russian newspaper. The headline reads, "Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai." Interesting. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Not only is the ballerina missing, the tiara is as well. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. Thankfully you were here to do the job, right? It's all written in Russian. Couldn't hope to read it. I guess I read it a bit early. Should have gone through all the dialogue first. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. What you were just investigating. Before we started talking, you were examining Cosmo's desk, weren't you? Reading his diary, I bet. Cosmo? Ah, yes, the victim. That's the most Russian name I know.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment. The desktop of the victim. Yeah, I did, and then I got flipped over for my troubles. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Cosmo was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think he should read his private writings. It could upset people. Glances at Susato. It could also upset your worldview, quite literally. Everything goes upside down. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Right, Susato? Anytime now. There we go. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to this. Seeing Herlock Sholmes upside down after his rampant accusations, that slander that he bestowed upon me. Susato's gonna make you pay. Right now. Right now. Here we go. I'm gonna press space and she's gonna do it. Yeah, I hope you're ready. Susato-san, are you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? You're shitting me. How dare you play dumb at this juncture? Life is so unfair. That's what broke the camel's back, Ryunosuke, not the fact that you've been accused of murder twice. This time we're actually in handcuffs. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to the details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, picado, nado nado, sushi. I trust you're suitably impressed. Well, I mean, let's just be glad he knows at least a couple of words in Japanese, and he knows some Russian as well, I guess. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Yeah, he probably knows Japanese, probably can't read it. Oh, goodness. So what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Wow, so he wrote his entries down to the time. A whistling sound? These very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band. There is the pair of words. A speckled band. What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... to the ventilated grill, to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. A diary Kazuma was keeping of his trip to London. According to the last entry he made before his death, he spied what appeared to be a speckled bat. Huh. What on earth was that doing there? What does that mean? Was it an adder? So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, so you need to further investigate, do you? So does that mean I can be relieved of these handcuffs, or I guess I'm still the prime suspect? Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. Probably because I'm the suspect. You might think I'm trying to cover something up or lead you astray. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrists should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? Yeah, thanks to you and your outlandish claims. There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. What? You named me as an assassin who killed 16 people. That I'm the acquaintance that killed Kazuma, who you think is Russian, by the way, simply because I was wearing the same clothes, which is correct, but I can't give you the points because your working was flawed. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Let me guess, you didn't say the exact words that I'm the culprit? Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. Oh, there you go. Thank you. I'm not crazy. Susato's backing me up. You're quite sure? Well, that is very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. Yeah, well, apparently I have the face of a Russian revolutionary on that newspaper article, so which is it? So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Guess he was trying to look for tells and ticks. Like he mentioned before. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? My mind has changed. What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. Oh gosh. This is quite an entertaining version of Sherlock Holmes, I must say. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. The sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Gosh, and the Russian thinks I come up with all the jokes. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Well, I'm the suspect. We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. You know, last time I tried to leave the room, you flipped me over. Okay, so forgive me if I'm a bit hesitant. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Any excuse to hold them up again? Hiya! God! Go home! Why? You flipped me over for trying to leave, now you're flipping me over for standing still. After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate. No, but... Well, at least you're on my side now, kinda, I guess. Oh, as if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. Yeah, quite literally rolled over. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. We constantly pull our hands up to, as if to remind ourselves, yes, we are still cuffed. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. You can tell it's like, well, we did this asset where he shows his arms in cuffs. We need to make the most of it, guys. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. I have to say, I'm quite curious how this case is going to play out, because we're on the boat, right? We're still at sea. Apparently, we're like quite a distance away from our ultimate destination, which is England. So, how are we going to do like a court session? Is there a court aboard this ship that we're just going to have an impromptu trial somewhere? And normally, from case 2 onwards in Ace Attorney games, there's an investigation phase that takes place over 2 days. So what's going to happen then? Like, do we dock, I go to trial, then maybe I investigate one last time or something? I don't know, maybe we're going to have a time skip where we finally land in England. And after day 1's finished. Let's find out. Thanks to that so-called detective, I'm even more stuck inside this cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I'll just have to focus my efforts on investigating in here. Right, well, we didn't look at the lock. When I went for helping, the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. Maybe they used a magnet or something on the other side. That could work. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. I wonder if the sword's gonna have anything to do with it, because there was a similar kind of case, I guess you could say, in Danganronpa. Not to get too much into detail in case you haven't seen that series. But maybe that's what's happened here? Just a random theory to throw out? I mean, his sword is on the floor there. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. And when she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? So is the art of pulling a book out from your sleeve. That's a pretty neat trick, too. I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Okay, you don't need to glare at me again. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there. Wait. Is that... No, it's not. Is it? The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Is he? Is that Hosonaga? Or am I just getting confused? Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. Right, well, before we do, I haven't actually looked at the katana yet, so let's take a look real quick. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. But weapons aren't allowed on the ship, so what, did he smuggle this in as well? I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Oh, never mind, he got permission, did he? Suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. I wonder why he didn't use it in self-defense. Is that? Looks like Ryunosuke's got the same thought as me. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Is he undercover again? Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? Okay, yeah, it is. What are you doing here? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Are you undercover here as well as a sailor this time? Yeah, there's that familiar cough. And the blood dribble. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Oh dear, you're gonna wipe off your blood on your white sailor uniform there? Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Oh, okay. Well, I hope it started up again. Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
Probably lives for the thrill of it.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
I never expected to see this man on board. What, have you come to steal everything in this cabin to preserve the crime scene? But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Oh, well, let's converse with Inspector Hosonaga. Let's catch up. Special orders. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Were you some sort of bodyguard or something for Kazuma?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
Maybe he was there to protect Susato as well?
I'm so sorry.
Classified, is it?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard.
Yeah, figured as much.
Oh. It was Minister of Justice Jigogu who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Assassinated? How? How could that even be a possibility? So you're saying that Kazuma was targeted for assassination? Which is more meaningful than just a random murder, but why? Why was he being targeted for assassination? Was there credible intel on this? Like, was there a threat determined? Or were they just playing it safe and providing insurance because, you know, he's an emissary going overseas?
I wonder. I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigogu said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated. I don't believe it any more than I believe he was Russian. Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort.
Really? Why not? Wouldn't it be better if he had a visible security escort, because then any would-be assassins would be deterred? I mean, I see pros and cons for both. Like, if you're exposed, then you might deter anyone from trying to kill them, but then, again, they'll at least know you exist and can plan around you accordingly, whereas if you're undercover, you can't always be in the right place at the right time because you're undercover, and also there's the fact that the culprit may be more daring to try and kill the target because they don't perceive any security around them.
Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
Well, you know, mission failed. You can surely take off your disguise now, Agent 47.
I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day.
So you watched him die then, which is better than me. I was fast asleep.
But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck.
So this is the first-class deck.
I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace.
All I could do is humbly apologize. Inspector.
So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word.
Well, I'd really like these handcuffs off. I'd like a burger, and I'd like to investigate the next room. Please. Permission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves.
I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer.
What do you think of me, Hosonaga? You think I'm gonna just clear my name of a previous murder which you were involved in and then be like, you know what? Oh, that was a thrill. I can't wait to see what it looks like when I'm actually the killer. And we'll trick the court once again and decide, you know what? The best person to kill would probably be my good friend, Kazuma Asogi. Of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
Oh, well, at least I'll die instantly.
I suppose. I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's not going to be necessary. So, it's a simple task of trying to convince the captain, but I don't see how.
There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Right, so I guess like the Megadama. We need to have evidence on hand to present to people?
Evidence? It's just the same as when you're in court. You must have done it many times during your trial.
Sorry, it's not like presenting the Megadama. Well, it is, kind of, in a way. Like how you can present our badge whenever we want.
Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with evidence he needs to persuade the captain. I know exactly what we need to show Inspector Hosonaga. I'm sure you guys do too. It's our university collar pin. It says Imperial on it. And I've examined it twice because I'm so enamored with it. Inspector, can I show you this?
What the? Is that a fabled Imperial Yume University pin badge?
I'm not sure if it's really fabled exactly, but it says Imperial on it.
So, you're a genuine student then? Sorry? Nothing like me, with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say?
No, I'm not trying to be snobbish or anything. I'm not trying to say I'm much more cleverer than you because I went to university. Can I have my badge back, please? You're gripping it rather tight. I think you're gonna start bleeding from your palm now, instead of just your mouth. Okay, let's present the actual evidence we need to. I believe it would be Kazuma's diary, describing the speckled band.
What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange.
Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
Yes, the one that leads to the adjoining room. I request access. Politely, of course.
You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin.
That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see.
Right, so plenty of time for you to take whatever knickknacks you need. Put them in your pockets.
I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove these handcuffs, though.
But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? Guess the handcuffs stay on for now. I mean, what can you do?
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain.
Again, surely it's not going to be necessary that you need to sacrifice your life.
After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move? Alright, let's see what we can find out.